So, the other day, I put out a video titled, If Wizards Does This, Then I'm Out, or something like that. Or I'm done with Wizards, or whatever. And I got a lot of views, got a lot of comments, and it's apparent to me, if it wasn't already before, that a lot of people have lots of different issues with Wizards of the Coast, whether it's Dungeons & Dragons or whether it's Magic the Gathering, possibly with their board games, Avalon Hill stuff, and there's people that have issues with Hasbro's toys, with the G.I. Joe line, the Transformers line, or the Marvel Legends, or maybe they have problems with Furbies and Play-Doh. I don't know. But I think that there needs to be a central repository of that. And while I generally don't have lots of grievances, I don't have necessarily grievances with companies that haven't done anything to me specifically. I treat all of this kind of stuff, whether it's toys or games or collectibles or whatever, as luxuries. So when they aren't made well, I just don't buy them. And if I really thought I wanted something, but it doesn't seem to be worth what it costs, then I don't buy it, and I don't really get upset about it. But there are people that are very into the hobby, and some people are way too emotional about it, but other people, they have some emotions tied into it, and they enjoy the feelings they get from these products, and I understand that. So I'm not really ragging on that kind of feeling. Just when people get too emotional and too invested in, and just angry about things that are pure luxuries, that if they're not good, then don't buy them, right? That's my advice. And if it was something that you really wanted, and you really wanted it to be good, but it's not, and you're upset that you can't buy it because it's not worth what it's worth, then I don't know. It's not something I sympathize with a lot, but I do understand that, people are heavily invested in Dungeons & Dragons and Wizards of the Coast, as am I. It's Dungeons & Dragons is very, very intrinsic to my development, to my childhood, and to even now. I play Dungeons & Dragons, and I want Dungeons & Dragons to be good, but I make Dungeons & Dragons good. My friends make Dungeons & Dragons good. TSR and Wizards of the Coast didn't make Dungeons & Dragons good. They just provided the framework for us to do that, and that's how I think you should view it. And I argue the same thing with Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering, to me, is not the best game ever. It's not the best tabletop game ever. It's not even the best card game ever. I think I don't play a lot of Flesh and Blood, but from what I can tell, it's already better than Magic the Gathering, I think. And it doesn't even have the amount of cards that Magic does. There's a lot more variety with Magic the Gathering. I agree with that. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of people in it. So it's more of a community. There's more with the Commander. There's a lot more sociability now to Magic. There probably was next to none in the past, other than, when you're playing with friends at the kitchen table. But at competitions, it's not that social. It's more cutthroat and competitive, and that's good for that aspect of it. Anyway, my point is that I do enjoy these games, and they've been part of my life for a long time, even if I dipped out for a bit in the early 2000s and didn't come back to them until the mid-2010s to late 2010s. And I understand that a lot of people have stayed in it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years? Has it been 60? 50th anniversary of D&D was only a few years ago. So we're approaching 60 years. It's possible there's someone in it for 60 years coming up on that. But anyway, the point of this video is that I want a central repository of everything that people have issues with, whether it's Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, their toys from Hasbro, board games from Avalon Hill, anything that they've done, anything that you find objectionable, put it in the comments below. This is sort of like early Festivus. I don't celebrate Festivus. It's for the rest of you. I celebrate Christmas, but I can celebrate I can start Festivus now with an airing of the grievances towards Wizards of the Coast. And hey, maybe if this is shared around and lots of people, put in their grievances and it does become a central repository of the grievances against Wizards of the Coast, whether I agree with them or I don't care about them or I disagree with them, or if you disagree with other people, don't get all snarky in the comments towards other people. There's no reason for that. That's what these comments are for in this video. So if someone says something you find objectionable, just move on, right? There's things that people have said in many of my comments that I would see that people would find objectionable and I don't. I'm just going to move on and not try to address those specific things that might be objectionable. Lots of people will say lots of things. Just be, I guess, generous in your reading of the comments and assume the best that they mean the best, that they don't, that whatever you interpret it to be, try to interpret as well as you can to, so that the person's meaning is as positive as it can be, considering it's a negative comment. Anyway, I just wanted to have an airing of the grievances against Wizards of the Coast, and maybe if this is shared around a lot and a lot of people talk about it and a lot of people put in their grievances, and a lot of the grievances are repeated by many, many, many people, and maybe Wizards of the Coast might take a look at these comments, and instead of having to go to all different corners of Reddit or Facebook or any Discords or whatever, just put them all in here. Let's just centralize everything. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, and have a wonderful Festivus when it comes.